What's going on? Okay, so let's start from the beginning, shall we? Welcome and happy birthday to my dear wife, Kira. Um, we are going to draw Allison Russell today. We're doing a 10-minute drawing practice. All is well. Thank you for being here in the chat. Thank you for being my support crew and letting me know how the stream's going. So a couple of days ago, or last week, the week before, we did a sketch of Annie Lennox, which resonated with so many people. What an amazing person. And that's the theme that we've had together, is doing 10-minute sketches of people who are doing important, empowering things in the world, working towards the world that we want to share with everyone and everything. So yeah, I got in touch with Allison and said, could we draw you? And she said she'd be honored. So let's do our 10-minute portrait sketch for today. And thank you for being here. Eddie, Lewis, Kitty, Rachel, Anne-Marie. Thank you, everyone. And if you're here watching this, say hello in the comments and at the live chat, and have a listen to Allison Russell's music, which I'm doing right now, to have a soundtrack while drawing. So let's do it. This screenshot, as well as being Allison's profile picture on Instagram, is from the video for Super Lover with Annie Lennox. And there are a lot of really cool shapes. It's another pretty low key, like dark reference with the dark background. So it'd be interesting, kind of thinking of it similarly to Janelle last week on Thursday, with the blocking in a lot of value to try and create something here. So we'll see how we go. Good morning, Klaus. Hello. Let's do it, shall we? 10 minutes together with Allison Russell. And thank you so much for your music, and thank you to all of you for being here. Stop. All right, just getting my timer ready. Okay, 5 minutes starts now, and then we'll do another 5 minutes. Yeah, so it's been wonderful listening and learning to and with Allison's music recently. And it was actually when I did the sketch of Guali a couple of weeks ago, and I really like looking through, seeing what music people have used on Instagram for their reels and stuff, and then using the music that they like on the sketches of them. And Guali had a very great song by Allison. Yeah, really wonderful lyrics, and it's been the message and the sounds that Allison shares are wonderfully fitting to this theme that we've been sharing together this year of oh, that's bright. And someone suggested last week that we sketch Joni Mitchell, and I just saw a video where Allison was saying that Joni was her earliest musical influence in utero. So I also love these like chains, daisy chains, how one inspiring person opens up and leads to more and more and more, and the list keeps expanding. And I also love having you share your inspiration with us for people to draw. That has been really great. I love this community aspect, and that we can learn from each other about people who are really doing great and important and beautiful and poetic things. How is everyone? How was your weekend? I just finished listening to the audiobook of Tihanu by Ursula K. Le Guin, who we sketched a few weeks back. And her books are so cool. And I'm so happy to be absorbing her writing and words and stories while doing housework, while drawing, while picking up the kids. It's wonderful to have something kind of magical and inspiring to be listening to while moving through the world. What are you all listening to and reading at the moment? I have this book. We drew Janelle Delcide, and we talked with Janelle last week, and Janelle's partner Jacob has written this book, and I haven't read a written book for a long time. I have a lot of opportunity to listen to audiobooks, but it's at the top of my list for books to read. And I wonder about all these different creative disciplines and ways of communicating and expressing ideas and things, and the whole process of writing, I think, is something I haven't done a lot of, but something that I have benefited a lot from, the reading and the listening. And I wonder about lyric writing, songwriting, writing music, writing sound and emotion. It's all pretty incredible and inspiring. Linda, you're just a little bit late because the start of this live stream was choppy. Hopefully it's working better now. Anne-Marie had 2 kids' parties to go to on the weekend. Daughter had a great time, and it was nice to get to know some of the parents. Yeah, that's always, I also really enjoy that. You know, people are busy doing their thing, but when there's this opportunity to have the kids connect and play, and for the parents to connect and play is also very special. It's often when there are these like school events and stuff, it's like, just enjoy. Sometimes it's like, oh, you know, there's always so much going on, so much to do, but just the opportunity to be with these people, you know, we're going through this shared experience, and it's really cool to be able to connect like that. All right, this was the first 5 minutes. How to Art by Kate Bryan. All right, that sounds cool. So first 5 minutes. And I was talking with one of my mentorees about this last week. In the first 5 minutes, I try and get the drawing figured out, and I've been practicing this a lot. But so I've kind of had this phase. I try to get things in place, and then I spend the next time kind of working on value or embellishing things, seeing what it needs. That's why I always split this into like 2 sections in these sketches. So I have this idea, I'm getting stuff done, and like, okay, what do I do now? So I have this moment to kind of check in and be like, what's possible in the next 5 minutes? All right. And then I really love these, like the light shapes. This is something that I was really found really compelling looking at this reference, and thought, wow, this would be so cool to work from. So I'm thinking, oh, I forgot to put the second 5 minute timer on, so I get some extra minutes. So just thinking filling in the background like that will help me load up the blending stump with some pigment to move around the portrait as well. I'm enjoying. I'm just listening to the music at the moment. Montreal by Allison Russell from the album is it Outside Child, and I love the bilingual singing. I really enjoy, even when I don't understand the language, and maybe because I don't understand the language, I often enjoy hearing music that I don't cognitively like understand, and just that direct. There's something about not being able to completely comprehend the words, which sometimes feels like it's like a very different experience than the kind of cognitive processing of what's being said. Yeah, and if you want a song to get started with Allison Russell, the song that was on Guvali's post was "Joyful Motherfuckers," which is so beautiful. Quite a moving, amazing song, and something which really, it's really, I feel like super fitting to the theme that we've had with our portrait subjects. And as I was listening to it, it's like, oh, Allison would be a perfect person to draw among many perfect people. Just right, this is probably around 10 minutes now, but I forgot to put the second timer on. But it's always nice to have a little bit of extra time. And often this 10 minutes is like, it's just the beginning. It's the invitation to, it's like, oh, it's easy to make 10 minutes time. I can do that. I can fit in that practice. And then once you're in the flow, to be like, oh, I can also do a bit more. And almost all of my 10-minute portraits the past couple months, upon finishing the live stream, I've kind of taken a little break and been like, I think I could do a bit more. And I feel like even if you've only got 10 minutes, it's totally worth it. You do something, you see something, opportunity to just make something and to focus. And yeah, I really enjoy it when it leads to something beyond that as well. It keeps going, and sometimes it's surprising what can be made and what it leads to. And each sketch as an opportunity to just spend that focused creative time to connect. There's something very, very special that happens when we're able to focus in that way. And it's not always relaxing, sometimes depending on what your intention and expectations are, you may be making something and going through a process. I've often thought of the creative process as being like a psychological journey of hope and expectation and challenges. And but something that has really helped me these time frames is there's not as much time to get into that kind of process. It's this quick kind of act and response, and maybe that process can happen after. But it's just such a great way to practice. So that's definitely been 10 minutes. Thank you to everyone who's been drawing along. Thank you for your love, Linda, your love for the drawing. Thank you to all of you for tuning in and sketching along. And thanks for those who were here in the beginning that helped me figure out the stream and stayed here to draw together. And thank you again and again to Allison. And I encourage you all to go have a listen. And I put the link to Super Lover in the description of this video, featuring Annie Lennox. So head on over, check that out, and enjoy your day. Let's just flick back to, here we go. This was also a still taken from the Super Lover video. So these two drawings are connected through the pages, through the subject, through the expression and message. All right, thanks everyone. Have a brilliant day.